What's up? Me here with an album review. I have here an album review of one of the most anticipated albums of 2014. That's the 11th studio record from the band Opeth. This is in Pale Communion. This came out August 26th via Roadrunner Records. Now, this record was supposed to drop June 17th, I think, but they delayed it. Not sure why, but excuse me, that's fine with me. So yeah, this is also the follow-up to Heritage from 2011, and Heritage was okay. It's honestly the only album of Opeth's where I listen to and go, I'm bored, can we put something else on? It's just a very forgettable album, most of the songs. Like, I think the first half's kind of good, and then it just gets, like, I don't know, it just was not, it lacked feeling or something. It lacked something, and you know, it just didn't really dig it too much. And it's not because, you know, there are no screen vocals, there's no death growls or anything from Michael Ackerfeld. It just was a boring album to me most of the time. Now, I am of the mindset that Opeth can do whatever the fuck they want. And I think the whole notion of them having to be a progressive death metal band is absolutely idiotic and just downright not fair. Because they're too talented to just stick to one style all the time. And do I like the older Opeth, the Blackwater Park, still like Watershed better? Of course I do. But I don't really care because I know Opeth are fantastic musicians and they'll write a great album. That's Pale Communion. There are no death growls on here. So if you're one of those people that, you know, you only like old Opeth, don't watch this review, don't listen to this album, just go back to doing what you were doing. Yeah, there are no screams on here. And I personally think Michael Ackerfeld sounds fantastic on this album. This is a great album. Do I think it's Opeth's best? No. But it has a lot of really, really great material on here. The thing about this album, though, is it's very, very proggy. It continues that thing that Heritage started of kind of a 70s prog rock vibe. Only this is done a hell of a lot better, and it's a hell of a lot more interesting than Heritage was. The record starts off with Eternal Rains Will Come. I think that's a pretty good song. Personally, I would have started with Cusp of Eternity. I would have opened the album with that. Just something that's nice and groovy, has a little bit of an energy to it, instead of opening with Eternal Rains Will Come. But that's a good song, too. I love about a minute and a half into that song when the guitars come in, there's the keyboards, and it's just nice and soft and soothing. It really gives me the feels, and I like that. And this album gives me the feels that, you know, I haven't felt since I listened to, like, Hawkins' The Mountain from last year, my personal 2013 album of the year. It just has that feeling to it, and I really, really enjoyed the atmosphere that was going on throughout this album. It's something that's Heritage lacked, and so it's here, and it's great. Cusp of Eternity, I reviewed that song. You can go check that out if you want my thoughts on it. It's a pretty good song, and you know, I just like, you know, it's a repetitive song, but I like the nature of it being repetitive. I think it's a good song, you know what I mean? And I love, you know, kind of the chorusy part, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, where, you know, there's the guitar riff playing some simple chords, and, you know, there's a vocal melody over top of it, and it's just nice and soft and soothing, and it's beautiful, and I love that. And so that's one thing that it's a huge highlight of this song. Now, that's another highlight of this album, is there's a lot of really, very much variety in the vocals. Especially in the song Moon Above, Sun Below. I mean, it just breaks to these harmonized vocal parts, and it's just the vocals going, and it's awesome. And so I really appreciated the vocal variety on here, and it definitely kept it interesting, I felt. This album has the sound of Heritage. Like I said, it's still in that 70s progressive rock vein. And you know, this is if they're going to do this type of style and this sound, this is how I feel it should be done. But then the thing about this album is that there's nothing really new here. It's not groundbreaking. And if Heritage didn't do anything for you, or this just style of progressive music doesn't do anything for you, then this won't do anything for you. Personally, it does things for me, and that's why I like it a lot. I love the song Goblin. That's a very fun song. It's just an instrumental, but it's got some very, very funky shit going on in it, very fun guitars and keyboards and everything. It's an interesting song. I keep going back and forth between my favorite song on here being either Mood Above, Sun Below, which is an almost 11-minute epic track. It's great. Like I said, there's a lot of variety in that track. It's truly progressive in nature. It's awesome. I love the ending of that where, you know, Michael Ackerfeld really pours a lot of emotion into the ending, and I thought it was just awesome. It sounded kind of epic, and it had this atmosphere, and it was great. That whole song just really, really hits home with me. And the other track that really stands out to me is the track River. That is such a good song. And the vocals in that song are so awesome, and it just felt very, very bluesy and fantastic. And it's just a good song. Another good song is Voice of Treason. That's a very catchy one that'll get stuck in your head. Michael's vocals are very solid on here, and I feel the more that he does clean vocals, the better he gets at them. And that's the case with this album. They are fantastic. He sounds fantastic. But I think another thing that really stands out about this album is the guitar solos. They fucking rip. Seriously. You know, I was listening to the song Moon Above, Sun Below, listening to those solos, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, this is amazing. These are some of the best solos I've heard in a long time. Michael Ackerfeld and Frederick, I'm a dingus. I got it right here, but it was on the tip of my tongue. Frederick Ackerson. I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue. I knew it began with an A and a K. Apologize for that. They fucking kill it on this album, I feel. I feel like some of the riffs are kind of like, I kind of heard this before, type of progressive riffs. But some of them are very, you know, kind of bouncy and fun and you know, interesting to listen to. And getting back to the solos, they destroy. They are so well done, and they're very shreddy, but they're not, you know, overly shreddy, Dragon Force shreddy or anything like that. They're really, really well written solos, and that's probably one of the biggest highlights of me on this album. Otherwise, the production is solid. You know, I just feel as a whole, this is just so much of a better album than Heritage what it was. It has feeling, it's not empty, and it has fantastic songwriting. I feel all 8 tracks on here are very worthy, and they're very fantastic and just well written. It's like, okay, we're going to shift our style a little bit. And Heritage, they were testing the waters. Here, they know what they want to do. They're firing on all cylinders, and it's great. I don't really know what else to say. The drums by Martin Axenrod, whatever. I knew it began with an A. They're fantastic as well. They don't stand out to me as much as you know, other progressive drummers do of this style. They don't stand out to me like that, but they are well done. They fit the music well, and they don't, you know, drag it down or anything. So overall, I feel that this is a very, very good performance by Opeth, and it just makes me happy that, you know, I can listen to Opeth and be like, yeah, their last album was good, and, you know, not have to wait, you know, 2-3 more years for another album hoping it's good. This is a good album, and it's just personal opinion. Of course, this might not do anything for you. And that's completely fine. Opinion's opinion. Music is all opinion in the end. At the end of the fucking day. So yeah, I'm gonna give Opeth's Pale Communion a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's a good album. I think it will be one of the top albums of the year, on my list at least. And I'm just glad to have more and brand new Opeth music. Let me know what you feel about this album. Let me know your favorite song off of this album, whatever. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and keep on the lookout for some discussions coming up or continued discographies in the weekly breakdown. So I'll see you guys later.